Do you think CEOs have a greater capacity for dealing with uncertainty and risk than other leaders?
I think they need to, whether all of them do. If you ask yourselves, like, why do people succeed or fail in these roles? And so I think anybody who goes into a big leadership job with a rigid view of their theory of how the company should work and how the world should work and what's not going to change. I don't think they're going to last long in those roles. But look, I think being a CEO, being an effective leader, is just a whole almost infinite series of balancing acts. And to be able to, in the last chapter we talk about the paradoxes of leadership, and I think it's an important insight, because you can't go into leadership with is it this or that? Because it's never this or that. It's this and that. And it's like, what is the moment demand? And so and I think the way that plays out, I think if you ask yourself, like, what is it about the way a CEO's brain works or needs to work? And we've heard like these big sort of labels about agility and curiosity and all that, but when I think of how an effective leader's brain works, I think of it as like one part is sort of this kind of periscope or radar that's like constantly scanning the horizon, and it's a broad horizon, like new information, what's going on in our industry. Like, think of healthcare, what's going on in healthcare. What's Amazon doing? What can we learn from all these other industries? What are the macroeconomic forces? Just this kind of sense of like always scanning the horizon, taking that data, and then kind of building. To me, the core skill of leadership we talk about in the first chapter is simplifying complexity. So then taking all that data, developing a model, a sort of theory of the case of how our company is going to succeed in the world now and in 5 years. So you build that model that you can then communicate in an all hands meeting and keep it simple, right? And then, so it's that sort of, and then constantly testing those back and forth. So you build the model, the theory of how, the company works and how it's going to win in the world. And then it's this constant back and forth. It's like always scanning the horizon for new information that might make you tweak that model. And so to me, like, if you go inside an effective CEO's brain, that's what it looks like to me.